Welcome back to Elizabeth Plants. I'm Elizabeth and I really hope you can hear me because I'm losing my voice, but we are going to do self-watering, repotting, and pull repotting today. So today I have some very wonderful pots to introduce you to, and I'm going to be repotting 5 plants, 4 into leca that are already in leca, and 1 from soil into soil. And I will also be using, I think, 3 moss poles today. These are just pre-purchased. I'm moving soon, and this is like the kickoff to all of my moving content. So if you're excited for moving content, get excited because it's coming soon. My goal is to get all of any repotting that I plan to do done ASAP so that my plants aren't shocked and then shocked and then shocked and then shocked. So shocked, and then I want to give them time to adjust before I move them across the country. Without further ado, let's talk about the pots that I will be planting into. So the pots that I will be planting into, they are self-watering. And I've introduced you to this type of self-watering before. I was new to it at the time. I'm not new to it now, but I'm really excited about these. So stay tuned because Emerging Green, the company, has sponsored this video. They have provided me with these pots, and they're also sponsoring a giveaway, so one of you lucky folk will get to own these pots for free as well. All of the giveaway information will be at the end of this video as well as in the description box below. Let's talk about the pots. So these pots actually come in 3 pieces. You've got the water reservoir, and I really doubt the camera is going to pick it up because my camera's not great, but behind my thumb is a little indicator that's like a line and it says max, so that's what you fill the water up to. So you've got that, and I love how this is clear. So if you go back in my channel archives to my self-watering pot video, one of the little pots that I was like gonna try out was like one with a shoestring in it to self-water, and I didn't know what to expect. And I've had great experiences with those little pots. They're too small for much, but the plants that did fit in it, I had great experiences with. My biggest issue with it was that I couldn't see the water reservoir, so I underwatered them all the time. The plants loved it if I was able to keep up with the watering, but I didn't know when they were out of water, and it's very easy to just forget and be like, oh, that one's in soil, it'll be fine. It wasn't. It was in leca. But these ones are clear, which not only gives you a reminder when you need to clean it, because nobody wants to look at green, but also you can see your water levels and not severely underwater your plants. So then it's also got like a shoestring and the planting piece. Now the planting piece has tons and tons and tons of holes at the bottom, and 2 of the holes are larger for you to feed the string through. So that's nice. I'm just gonna leave that in there for now. It also has this little indent right here, and I love this indent because not only can you see the water in the pot, but you can fill it without taking this out of the water. Granted, you're gonna need like a smaller, you can't use like a cup. You could also pour it over the top, of course, but you don't have to. And so that's really, really cool. And these lock together really easily. They're not gonna like fall apart super easily. I mean, that's why you saw me kind of really grab them. It's not difficult. It's just easier to like actually give it some muscle. If you don't have any finger strength like I don't, that just makes it so much easier. So just feeding my string back through. So if anybody is not familiar with how a pot like this works, I will be using it both with soil and leca, though in the past I've used both, but I've had the most success with leca, but I also have a lot of success with leca. So that probably doesn't have anything to do with the pot type. But you fill the reservoir with water, and then you fill this with your plant in its medium of choice. You want to make sure this string kind of goes up. I mean, you can pull it straight through the top of the soil. It can't just sit at the bottom, like flat like this. I guess it could. It's just not. I like to feed it through the soil. Like, it gives me confidence that the water gets to the roots and not just the bottom of the soil where it sits. And that's a me thing. I recommend it. I think it just makes sense to me. I don't know the science behind it. But what happens is this little shoelace wicks up the water from the reservoir, feeds it into your soil medium or leca or whatever, thus watering the plant as the plant needs water. And so these are really great options. I'm really excited. And these are plastic, not glass, which is lovely for me because I have cats. So if they do knock it off the shelf, it's not going to shatter. And also it's lighter for the moving process. So I'm really, really excited to get these guys in these pots. Now, I have a wonderful selection of plants to be repotting today. You're going to love it. But I want to start with my soil plant to kind of get it out the way. So this guy has been well overdue. It's an Alocasia, something or other. Well overdue for a repotting. The soil is the soil that it came with, and it loved it for a while, but it's definitely out of nutrients now, and it has been dropping leaves like flies, and it's definitely not fertilizer. I made sure of that. I think it's just, it hates how dry the soil is now. It dries up so quickly. And unless its roots are absolutely ridiculous, Alocasia generally like to be pretty bound, so I'm not too worried about transferring it over. But I don't want to get soil in the reservoir, so I'm going to detach it from the reservoir for now. And I'm going to put some fresh soil at the bottom with some fertilizer. So right now I'm using Fox Farm soil. And as I put soil in, I am making sure that my string doesn't get completely buried. So put a little bit of soil at the bottom. And I'm also going to put some fertilizer at the bottom. So what I'm using today is Marine Cuisine time release fertilizer. This is a 1077. It's for specific types of plants, but it's what I have. And none of my plants have hated it, including this guy. So we're gonna put a little bit. Now, this is not the only fertilizer this plant will get. This is time release, so it'll last longer over time, but I will also use a liquid fertilizer mixed in with the water when I water it. Sometimes now, because I'll be watering it from a reservoir, honestly, I'll probably use my Super Farm. Usually I would use, for soil plants, I would use a like a kelp mix. However, it's really gross looking, and so I don't want to see that in this clear thing, so I'll probably just use my Super Thrive. But now I am going to pull this guy out of the pot, but I'm going to take him over to the trash because I know how dry the soil is, and I know it's just going to dust everywhere. And I do have to work on this desk after this. Yeah, these guys are not very happy. Extremely small. You can tell it's a very new root system. Honestly, I'm a little worried about putting him in this big pot knowing his root system, but I don't think I have something smaller right now. So I am just going to keep a really close eye on him, but I will need more soil. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, what I'll probably do is mix in some leca so it's super airy, while also being pretty moisture loving. Now, because this is an Alocasia, very prone to root rot, which is maybe what happened with this guy, I'm not sure. It could have also just been, I could have dried it out too much. But because they're prone to root rot, I'm going to make sure that the wick is not near the center of the pot where the plant is. I'm going to put it towards the outside, just so that the water's not going directly to the roots every single time. I want it to feed the plant without drenching the plant. Now, normally this guy's super water loving, so I wouldn't be as worried, but because his roots are so infantile, I do not want to overwhelm them. Ta-da! So this is that guy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him on top of the reservoir for now, but I'm actually going to drench this guy with a 50-50 water hydrogen peroxide mix before I fill the reservoir. And then I'm probably gonna wait a day or two before even filling the reservoir, just because of his root system, and I really want success for this guy. So we're gonna rinse him down with 50% water, 50% hydrogen peroxide. I'm also gonna clean his leaves off. He was in need of a water, which is why I'm repotting him today. But definitely going to baby this guy for at least a week. Next, we will be repotting my Alocasia Sente Varagata. It's covered in diatomaceous earth right now, so it's actually not that it's pretty variegated. But a lot of this is diatomaceous earth. I just gave it a diatomaceous earth rinsing before I started filming this video, because he has mites like no other. If you watched I think it's my most recent video. I think this one will go up after that video. I featured this guy in my hospital tour, and the mites just love him. So I am keeping him in leca, and I'm going to put him in self-watering just because I want to keep this guy a little bit more separate than he was before, because all the other plants are doing fine comparatively. They weren't being affected by him, but with the move coming up, I just don't want to take any risks. So he is technically a smaller plant, so I'm going to play with caution, but honestly I think he will be fine. Yeah, and so the reason I'm playing caution is the size of these pots are pretty ridiculous in difference. However, this is only what the pot is, and so the depth is the same, and he's remaining in leca, so I'm not worried about overwatering like I would be if he was in soil. Because he's in leca, I'm not going to even take this off. I'm just going to go to town. Now, because this guy is used to leca, what I am doing with the cord for leca for this guy is I filled it about an inch, and I'm leaving the cord flat at about an inch, because what this guy's used to doing is sitting in about an inch of water. So if the water can start at about an inch, I think that will be a much easier adjustment for him. You guys are gonna love this. Look at this root system. I'm not even gonna disturb it. Not at all. I'm just gonna set him in there and hope that he loves the adjustment. Awesome. So this guy is in there, and honestly, I'm not as worried about the pot upgrade as I thought I should be because of how established that root system is, and I'm not changing the medium. What I'm going to do is fill the reservoir after this video with just my normal mix according to the Thrive box of Thrive and water, and then I might also add just a teensy tiny bit of hydrogen peroxide just to keep her going. I like to do that every once in a while, and I haven't done it with this guy in a little bit. But just a teensy tiny bit, just to make sure that if there are any kind of mites in there, at least their larvae won't make it. But I will be pouring that over the top to fill the bottom. I just like to do that with my leca plants just to make sure. So I always do that. That's not necessarily specific to this plant. Okay, the next three plants all have the moss poles. These are the moss poles I'm going to be using with the move and also work, and my sister's getting married next month. I have not had time to make moss poles. So I finally accepted that I won't be making the moss pole, and I bought some. Now, you met every single one of these plants in my last video of the hospital tour, and they are some of my favorite plants. So I'm really excited to finally give them moss poles, and I might also trim up 2 of them. But we are going to start with my Monstera something, because he's got this bonkers runner, and he's trying to put out leaves, and I want him to succeed, so I'm going to trim up the runner just a little bit and place him up on a moss pole. I worry about trimming him up right now, but I also worry about not. So, and he's got roots coming out the bottom like crazy, so he's ready for a repotting. So we're just gonna do it. So again, same deal, about an inch of leca, laying the string flat, plopping him on top. I only had one root casualty, which is actually pretty great considering how pulled through the roots were. Now, I know this isn't a super deep pot, and so the moss pole is not going to be super sturdy, but I am just going to roll with it anyways because it's what I've got. But I've gone ahead and I've taped it up with plant Velcro. I will tighten it up once it gets a little bit more stable, but just to kind of hold it in place while I fill her up. So the moss pole could be shorter, and I will probably eventually make this guy's own like custom moss pole, assuming he loves this pot like I do. But for now, this will have to do. And for the move, this will have to do. So I've got all of this right here strung along, and what I'm going to do is trim him up, propagate these pieces. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't have anywhere to put the propagations at the moment. So I will probably do that after this video. It looks like he's putting out a leaf at the end, so maybe I'll wait until he's done putting out that leaf. So for now, I will just stabilize him. That way he feels nice and secure. And I'm going to do the same watering deal with this guy as I did with this guy, or as I will. Same deal, this guy will probably get his moss pole made to fit the pot that he's in. Later, either before or after the move, I don't know. But I do want to get him established with a pole before we move because of how long the runner is. And we've got our plant. This is the plant, this is the runner. We've got to do something about this. It's going to be same deal for this plant and the next. So I'm going to stop explaining myself because identical process. I'm just going to do it. I'm really excited. I think this guy will love his new home. He has been way more thirsty lately, so I know that he'll appreciate being in self-watering a little bit better. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to wait for whatever's at the end to figure it out, and then I'm going to trim him back. Now this next plant doesn't have as established of a runner, but I want to avoid a runner with this guy, so we are going to do a moss pole situation. Now I do not want this guy's roots to be overly exposed, like I wasn't too worried about the last two plants. So I am just taping him super close to the bottom and making sure that the roots are down into the leca. He's pretty hardy. In fact, I'd say hardier than the one that we just potted, the silver version. But he is growing a leaf, not a runner. So I want to encourage that to continue. So this guy is all set. And he looks phenomenal. So yeah, that was my emerging green self-watering pots. I'm actually really excited about these pots. I absolutely love the clear bottom. I'm so excited about it. It's gonna make me a better plant mom. Because well, maybe we don't know, but I definitely underwater a lot of my plants if I cannot see what's going on, which is why so many of my plants are in clear pots. Or my leca plants are all in these like clear trays or in clear bins, because if I can't see it, I won't do it. And so seeing it is super, super, super important to me. I'm really, really, really excited about these pots. So I'm going to give future me the stage now to let you know about the giveaway. All right, now for the giveaway details. So this giveaway is sponsored by Emerging Green and is in celebration of Take Your Houseplant on a Walk Day, which is July 27th. So this giveaway is going to open up on July 20th, and the giveaway is going to go until the 27th, and the winner will be announced on the 28th. So to enter this giveaway and get yourself some of these wonderful self-watering pots, bing! All you have to do is click the link in the description down below. It'll prompt you to either log in with Facebook or your email, and then there are a slew of ways to enter the giveaway, including sharing a link, watching a video, and quite a few other options. Now, unfortunately, this giveaway is in the United States only. I'm so sorry to my non-US folk, but this one is just for us US folks. Link in the description. Winner will be announced the 28th. Have fun. So if you liked this video, if you like these pots, if you like moss poles, if you like repottings, or any of these plants in the video, then definitely give this video a thumbs up. Let me know that you like this content. Subscribe if you want to see more houseplant content. Ring the bell to be notified when I post a new video. If you're already subscribed and you think that you have the bell rung or you want it rung, be sure to double check. I've been informed that many of you are not getting notified when my videos are going live. So definitely double check the bell. Sometimes YouTube is weird and that's, a thing. So just double check if you really want to be sure that you're seeing when my videos go live. But yeah, do all those things. Comment down below and let me know what you think about these pots. If you're excited what you think about these plants. Also give me, I don't know if you can see this, but give me your 2 cents on the runners. Should I wait? Should I trim them? Should I have trimmed them years ago? Should I never touch them? Should I just stack the poles high and hope? Let me know what you think. And I will see you next time.